Hello everyone, I am Dias Jose. I am the Indian Geography faculty at ILN IAS. In Indian Geography, we have to study about different mountain ranges in India. So today we are going to study a very important mountain range in India, the Aravallis. So we will be looking at four different aspects regarding Aravallis. One is we will be looking at the location. So first thing we will be looking at the location. Then we will be looking at its origin, then its features, its important features, and lastly we will be looking at the significance of this particular mountain range. Okay, let us start with the location. So if you look at Aravallis, we can see that Aravallis are actually located in the northwestern part of the country. So here you can see Aravallis here. And if you look at the states through which it is passing, we can say that the southern part or the southern tip of the Aravallis is actually falling in the state of Gujarat. Now, as we move towards north, it enters the state of Rajasthan, and most part of Aravallis is actually located in the state of Rajasthan. Now, in the northern edge, you can see it is entering the state of Haryana as well as the National Capital Territory, the UT of Delhi. So this is very important. This particular information is very important because UPSC will sometimes ask about the location of a physical feature, okay, with respect to the map, with respect to say the orientation, etc. In 2017, UPSC asked a question. The Himalayas are spread across 5 states in India. So if you count the number of states, it is not actually 5. So it's actually a wrong statement. Similarly, there was another statement. The Western Ghats are spread across 5 states in India. Again, is that a correct statement? No, it is not a correct statement because Western Ghat is spread across 6 states in India. You can see it starts from Gujarat in the north, then Maharashtra, Karnataka, Goa, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. So there are 6 states. Okay. So similarly you can expect questions about Aravallis also. Now if you go to origin, now let us look at the origin. If I talk about the origin of Aravallis, I can say that Aravallis are an old fold mountains. Okay, it is an old fold mountain. In fact, it is the oldest mountain range in India. It is also one of the oldest mountain range in the world. So this information is very significant because if you get a question about which of the following mountain range is the oldest, okay, if you get the options like Aravallis, the Himalayas, Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, so now we know the answer. The answer is Aravallis. So it was formed long back in the geological history of the earth. Now if you look at the formation, how it was formed, we can say that as per the plate tectonics theory, it was formed due to the collision between 2 crustal plates. You will be studying about this particular theory in detail as part of the classroom program. So for now, you understand the fact that there is some theory called plate tectonics theory. According to this particular theory, when 2 crustal plates collide, the portion which is coming in contact with each other get folded, leading to formation of mountain range. So this particular mountain range is an example of an old fold mountain. Now, because it happened long back in the geological history of the Earth, we don't know the exact time period or the exact plates which are involved in its formation. But we can say, on the basis of the evidence, on the basis of the folding which we can see in the rocks of Aravallis, we can say these are old fold mountains. Now let us look at the significance. We will look at the features first. Okay, we will look at the features. If you look at the features, the first feature of Aravallis is associated with its formation or its origin. That is because this particular mountain range has been standing there for millions of years. It was subjected to erosion by all the major agents of erosion. The running water, wind, glaciers, all of these agents of erosions has actually reduced the size of this particular mountain range. It is in fact said that during its youthful stage, it was even mightier than the present day Himalayas. But the present Aravallis is only a remnant of its glorious past. I can say that this particular mountain range has got eroded a lot and its size has been reduced into a large extent. And such mountain ranges, the ranges which has got eroded heavily, are called relic or relict mountains. Okay, they are called relic or relict mountains. So this is one feature. Now, you can also see that it has a orientation from southwest to northeast direction. The orientation is also important. So second feature is its orientation, southwest to northeast direction. So this is significant. We will be looking into that while discussing the significance. Now, you can also see that this particular mountain range is taller at southern side. Okay, the height is more in the south, and in the north the average height is very low. Average height is very low in the northern side. Similarly, you can also see that it is broader at the south. It is broader at the south. In the north, it is very narrow. This is also very significant. We will look into that while discussing the significance. Now, because it is taller at the southern side, we can see that the tallest point or the highest peak in this particular mountain range is located in the southern part. This particular peak is called Guru Shikhar. Guru Shikhar, having a height of 1722 meters. And this particular place is actually located in the Mount Abu region. So, in the southern side, you can find the highest peak. So, we have some photographs or pictures of this particular region. So, this is the southern part. This is the Guru Shikhar area, and you can also see the Mount Abu. Okay, this is the most important or the famous hill station of the northwestern India. For the state of Rajasthan, for the state of Gujarat, this particular hill station is very important. You might have seen this particular mountain, this particular hill station in many movies. Okay, especially in Hindi movies, you might have seen this particular mountain or hill station. Okay, mountain range and the hill station. Now we will go to the last part, that is the significance. We will go to the significance. Okay, the significance of Aravalli mountain range. Okay, the most important significance is it acts as a climatic divide. It acts as a climatic divide. We will see how. Okay, so we know that we receive most part of our rainfall. India receive most part of our rainfall from the southwest monsoon. And southwest monsoon has two branches, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. So, if you look at the Arabian Sea branch, you can see that the Arabian Sea branch is actually running parallel to that of the Aravallis. Okay, it is running parallel to that of Aravallis. So, it does not give any rainfall to the Rajasthan region. Okay, it does not give any rainfall to the Rajasthan region or any significant rainfall to the Rajasthan region. So, however, we can see that because the southern part is little bit taller and broader, it actually gives some rainfall in the southern side. It gives some rainfall in the southern side, but otherwise there is no much rainfall associated with the Arabian Sea branch. But now, if you look at the Bay of Bengal branch, it actually goes to the northeast and then comes to the, then actually it will travel through the North Indian plains from east to west, and it will hit the Aravalli, in the eastern side of Aravallis, and give rainfall here. However, this rainfall will not be heavy rainfall. This will be low to medium rainfall, because this particular branch has been traveling through the land for long distance. So, it was shedding rain in earlier regions. So, it will give only medium to low rainfall. So, thereby, by providing rainfall in the eastern side, it creates a subhumid region in the eastern side of Aravallis. This is very significant because bulk of the population of Rajasthan actually live in the eastern side of Aravallis. Bulk of the population live in the eastern side of Aravalli. Similarly, you can find some of the famous national parks of Rajasthan located in the eastern side. You can find the famous Ranthambore National Park. You can find the Mukundara National Park. Sariska. Also, you can find the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary or Kialadio National Park. So, all of them are located in the eastern side. Western side, it is actually semi-arid or arid. Semi-arid or arid. The rainfall is very less, population is less, and because the rainfall is very less, you can find the Thar Desert here. Okay, you can find Thar Desert here. The national parks here will be associated with the Thar Desert. You can find the Desert National Park, here. Okay. So, this is very significant information. It acts as a climatic divide. Second significance, we can say it acts as a water divide. The Aravallis act as a water divide. How come? So, the rain which is falling on the eastern side of the Aravallis actually creates some rivers, and the most important river here is Banas River, Banas. And you can find large number of tributaries of Banas originating from the eastern side of Aravallis. And this Banas River is in fact is a tributary of Chambal River. And we know Chambal is a tributary of Yamuna. Okay, so we can say that the eastern side of Aravallis is part of Ganga basin or the Ganga system. Now, if you look at the western side the rainfall is very less. So, the number of rivers will be less. Also, the quantity of water in these rivers will also be very less. And the most important river on the western side is Luni River. You can find the Luni River. Okay, Luni River you can find here. Luni River, and there will be tributaries of Luni. There will be few tributaries of Luni River, and this particular river is very important because it is the largest inland drainage of India. It is the largest inland drainage of India. So what is inland drainage? What is inland drainage? Inland drainage is a river, okay, it is a river or the river system which does not join the sea. Okay, so here you can see the Luni is not joining the Arabian Sea. It stops its journey at Rann of Kutch. You can see Rann of Kutch here. You can see Rann of Kutch here. It is stopping its journey at Rann of Kutch without directly joining the Arabian Sea. So it is an example of inland drainage, and it is the largest inland drainage in India. Second important aspect about the Luni river system is its ephemeral character. Its ephemeral character. What do you mean by ephemeral river? Ephemeral river is a river which is seasonal, which has got seasonal characteristics. Okay, it will be flowing only during the rainy season. Okay, so here you can see Luni river will be having some quantity of rainfall during the monsoon or during the rainfall season. Otherwise, the quantity of water will be very less. It will be dry for most part of the year, and in most region it will be dry, because as we move towards Thar Desert, it is very dry and it is sandy, and the water will get evaporated and water will be lost very quickly. So this is about the Aravalli range. So I hope this session was useful. We looked into the location, the origin, the important features, and the significance of this particular range. Okay, thank you. I hope you will all be benefited out of this session. Thank you.